It's my great honor now to introduce to you the commencement speaker for today, Samira Rafaela, who is a member of the European Parliament. She connects a lot of different worlds, the Dutch world, the Jewish world, the Muslim world, the Curaçao world, and a couple of others. She is fully active in Brussels and Strasbourg, I must say. She specializes in sustainable trade policies, in inclusive labor markets. And prior to being here and giving a speech on this occasion, she gave a talk for the other PPE students on the title Women's Rights and Conservatism in the European Union. Samira Rafaela, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to you all. Thank you for inviting me also, so that I can celebrate this day with you, a very special day, and it's an honor, privilege to be here and see you all in person. It's very nice to have such events again. And first I would like to say to you, congratulations. It's very interesting and I think also very special that you graduate in times of an unprecedented health crisis. It must have been difficult for you. You may have felt anxious, insecure about it. And the past year, education was reduced to Zoom calls. Student life became online pub quiz, I understood. And writing your thesis must have been lonely at times because it's already very difficult writing your thesis and it can be very challenging. So therefore, graduating is a huge accomplishment of you, and you may be very proud of yourself. So again, congratulations. So what does graduating amidst a global health crisis mean for the next chapter of your lives? And that path you envisioned for yourself might not be so clear anymore. And you might face challenges with your own health, the job market, student loan debts, or finding affordable housing. And there is no easy answer to these challenges. And what is the most important is that we do not let ourselves be distracted. And that change is possible, and to stand in solidarity with each other is essential. And that whatever your goals are and whatever challenges you face, there are always significant ways in which you can contribute to making the world more equal and more just for everyone. And we have major challenges ahead of us: climate change, gender inequality, or poverty. It must be fixed, sustainable, and fair. And history has proven us repeatedly that change is always the result of people who make a commitment to contribute to a shared mission of progress. And change comes from the students who organize for affordable housing, students who organize worldwide climate marches, and from everyone who says Black Lives Matter. And so we have so many other examples of protests and demonstrations where students were in the lead, the young generation and the future generation. And you have the power and the knowledge to create change. Let your voice be heard. So use your unique voice for yourself, for your communities, for change, and also use your voice to call upon politicians to be more ambitious in creating a more equal and more just future for everyone. Or use your voice, which I would encourage to become a politician yourself, to raise the bar and change society. So do not be afraid to claim your seat at the decision-making table. And even if there is no seat reserved for you, you should just grab one from the corridors and put it right at the table, because you have a right to talk and to participate. And you have the right to be represented. So make use of that right. In my work as a politician in the European Parliament, I find it one of the biggest challenges to achieve equal representation in decision making. Equal representation between men and women, between the young and the old, and between people with different cultural backgrounds. Striving for equal representation simply means that you want everyone to be included. And ensuring equal representation is not only equal and just, but also helps companies and organizations to perform better. And having employees with a diverse skill set will improve emotional intelligence, creativity, and productivity in the workplace. And that's better for society. And equal representation also means that every individual can have role models, individuals to whom you can relate and whose success seems attainable. And when entering the European Parliament in 2019, those relatable individuals were absent for me. At times, I felt discouraged to see so little resemblance of myself in the European Parliament, but it also strengthened me and my mission to achieve equal representation and create more role models for the future generation. And that would also be my advice towards you. Find your role models, talk to them, find your mentors. And if we want to achieve equal representation, we must allow all individuals in society to participate. And the COVID-19 pandemic has put an extra strain on gender equality and has deepened the pre-existing inequalities. And so we have seen a surge of domestic violence throughout Europe, and women who are generally employed in flexible work arrangements, and we could see that they had a higher chance of losing their jobs, for example. And in order to unlock the full potential of women and girls, our priority should be to combat gender-based violence. And only if we respect the dignity and fundamental rights of women, we can work towards a world that is truly equal and where equal representation is the norm rather than the exception. And there is much progress to book on other terrains as well. Think, for instance, of the gender pay gap. So women in Europe still earn 14.1% less per hour than their male counterpart. And the consequences of this gap are enormous. Women are often not financially independent, and discrimination on the work floor can prevent them from reaching the top of their company. In the past 2 years, during which I am a member of the European Parliament, I have seen that we can still not take women's rights for granted. Sexual harassment, gender-based violence, and restrictions in determining over one's own body are still everyday's business. Restrictive abortion laws in Poland, Slovakia's parliament are currently debating the restrictions on abortion, and Hungary made it an offense to promote sexual and gender differences to children. So we are fighting a tough battle to counter this anti-feminist ideology in Europe. But our message is clear. Women's rights are human rights, and that is non-negotiable. So we must continue to fight against these pushbacks worldwide and within Europe. And therefore, we also need you. So I encourage you to not be silent. Silence will not protect us. We must speak against injustice for ourselves and for the ones around us. And I must admit, it was not always easy to take the step towards politics. The political arena remains an establishment where people with power aim to protect their own norms and identity. And if you do not necessarily conform to this norm, it means you will be challenged and not accepted instantly. And I know from my own experience how difficult it can be to challenge existing stereotypes and overcome negative obstacles. People will underestimate you, that will be your experience probably too. You will be biased, and it will a challenge for you. Sometimes, not because of your qualifications, but because of who you are. But in today's world, there seems to be an extra challenge that we have to face. So the public has shifted the debate from the public spheres to an online environment where people can spread their hate anonymously and instantly. Fake and anonymous accounts tend to dominate discussions on Twitter, for example. And women who dare to speak out publicly, express their opinion, and challenge the status quo are answered with a wave of hatred, sexism, and racism. But not only women. We see in general that in the online world, a difficult and a difficult debate is existing. So this is especially problematic because it can lead to self-censorship that would leave the most important issues undiscussed. And it can also form an extra burden for people to take that step towards politics. And to all of you, I want to say that you may never let this hate stop you. Do not allow anyone to censor your opinions and ideas. Do not pay attention to what people on the internet say, and do not let it have an influence on your career choices. So I will come to a conclusion. Advancing change and combating injustice requires courage, and it requires the young generation to take action and to speak out. Be open and speak out on your ambitions and the goals you want to achieve. Do not hide your ambitions because you are afraid that people will judge them. And ask yourself what matters. What are the social questions that give you energy? And are there any injustices that you want to change? And build a supporting network around you that supports you in your mission and that provides you with constructive feedback. And as long as you are intrinsically motivated to make a meaningful change, there is nothing that can hold you back. But there is no question that you have a role to play in addressing the global challenges that we are facing, whether that's now or in the future. You inherit a world that has proven already that progress is possible, and now it's your turn to prove it again. Congratulations with this milestone. Thank you.
I don't know whether traveling with the flowers is a handy thing, but we want to hand over, as a token of our thanks,